in your life as leaders where you will have to decide where you're going to stand on some things. I mean, you just are. I mean, that's obvious. And, you know, I'm a pretty reasonable person. I hope people would recognize and say that about me. And if somebody wanted me out of a job, I would be pretty reasonable and say, okay, if I'm not a good fit, I get it. But what we were dealing with at that point in time was the protection of the Missouri Constitution, the protection of our State Board of Education, the protection of trying to keep politics out of education. And so we all kind of came together and said, let's stand up for this one. I happened to be at the center of it, but I wasn't really the issue. So what I'm saying is, be prepared, because I will describe to you a couple of things that happened on that day. One, I walked through the halls and they were lined with superintendents there to cheer me on. Two things happened. There were reports of, wow, look at all the support for the Commissioner of Education from these superintendents. That was one report. Another report, your taxpayer dollars at work. What are these superintendents doing hanging out in the hall? Know that every time that you make any kind of decision to take a stand on something, you will be kind of called on that decision. So just make the right one and defend it and go with it. And in my case, I lost the vote that day, 5-3. And people were like, aren't you devastated? I will tell you my absolute reaction that day was, I had Charlie Shields' vote. I had Vic Lenz's vote. I had Mike Jones's vote. These were three men who had been on my board and hired me, who I had the utmost respect for. The utmost respect for. So to know that somehow in the midst of all that controversy, all these people's, that was not devastating for me. It was hard for the state. There was a lot of aftermath, and a lot of people picked up. It was hard for Stacy, hard for people at the department who had to really pull all those pieces together. But people took a stand. And then to go on further, the Senate took a stand, and we had two senators who were recognized this weekend at an event for really standing up for public education. And one of the things that made sure of was that we would have a really good, rock-solid State Board of Education that would operate with Senate confirmation, and we do now. So a lot of things happen. Again, don't want to spend a lot of time there, but do know that there are times when you will have to make stands, and all that really matters is if you can believe in what you're standing for.